IoT World's Alican Ayanlar recently returned from Myanmar, and he joins me now live in the studio to talk more. Trying to transition from a democracy in a country where so many of its citizens have only ever known military dictatorship. I mean, that's a huge undertaking. And the international community seems to have really honed in, though, rather than on the transition, on just the issue of the Rohingya minority. Was Aung San Suu Kyi unprepared for that? Was she hoping that would kind of fade away and the bigger issues would take the spotlight?
I think it's unfair to say that she was unprepared, but we were saying that it was sort of two different things. Knowing about a particular subject and actually being able to do something about it are very different subjects. When you go back 18 months, right after the elections, there was this sense of euphoria that was created by the international community. So everyone was throwing out concepts like modernization, democratization, let's have economic and political reform. These were all nice, but I think the international community sort of underestimated just how difficult the task was and continues to be today. When you look at Myanmar today, Aung San Suu Kyi and her NLD party have been tasked in sort of working or reviving an economy that's been mismanaged by more than a half-century of military rule. The country remains one of the poorest in the region, as well as the continent. When you look at it geographically, it's sort of squeezed in between India and China. On top of that, there's the ongoing, or what's been dubbed as the world's longest civil war with the various insurgent groups throughout the country. All this on top of the fact that they have to negotiate with a military that is constitutionally guaranteed 25% of the seats in parliament, where you need a 3/4 legislative majority to enact any type of change. So this is definitely an uphill battle for the lady.
And what can we expect to happen? What can she do about it, given she is up against a majority of people in her country who feel very strongly that this minority should not be integrated, even though they've been there for generations?
This is a catch-22 because she is a Nobel laureate, because she is a champion of democracy. She feels that she has to address some of the international criticism. But on the other hand, on the domestic front, there is a very fine line. You have the extremely powerful army still, which is very reluctant to actually give any rights to the Rohingya. You have her constituents who are actually do want some change, but aren't really open to the idea of this change. When we were in Rakhine State, in the capital, Sitwe, even when we were walking in the streets of the capital, when we were talking about this issue with our interpreter, using the word Rohingya, our interpreter said, "Don't be so loud." This is still very much a taboo subject. So what needs to be done here, before even we get to the idea, the concept of recognition, a platform needs to be created within the Myanmar society where the idea of integration or recognition is discussed and debated. So this is a very delicate issue, both international pressure on one hand, and on the other hand, you have domestic reluctance.
Okay, Alican, thanks so much for coming in.